Hi, my name is Lakshay Anand AIR 101 this year. I'll be speaking on world history portion and Indian culture. So, let's start with the world history. So, history as a subject fascinates me for more than one thing. I also had history option, so I think I can guide you better in how to structure the answer of a world history question. So, first of all, as many of you know that there is only one question of world history in GS1. And there's a lot of syllabus to cover that one question that too comes not sometimes. So I'll say that to prepare world history, I'll give you just very basic tips and some basic stuff to make out some answer on any topic that you get. Firstly, one thing that anyone should understand is that history is about past, not just in terms of facts but also in terms of change and continuities. So the first thing that you should write in a world history answer is what led to the thing that is asked in the question. For example, if it is on World War I or World War II, so you should write how did it start, what were the reasons in the introduction. Even if it is not explicitly mentioned in the question, it goes without saying that your question must start that what was the reasons for that incident to happen. And then you should start with the question's main body, where you should write the events, not just in the sense of what happened on what date and which period, but also how did it happen, why did it happen, and how it took how it changed the shape, not only just in one country but also in the global affair. So world history is also very much related to international relation. So I will say that if there is a question on, let's say, Prussia or German history, Bismarck, so it must not be restricted to Bismarck itself, it must go beyond that. It must include French, it must include British, and it must include the entire European geopolitics. Second thing I would like to stress is that when you are writing a world history question, in the main body there must be at least one mention of a great historian who has worked on that particular field. I can name 2-3 historians which have worked on every field on world history. One is Karl Marx, one is Eric Hobsbawm, and one is A.G.P. Taylor. So you can mention either of these names and you don't have to read them. I'm telling you, just mention anything critical, and 99% surety is that they must have worked on these parts. So you can write about them, especially if the question is on World War or the colonialism part. You can definitely write on them. And one more thing, sometimes UPSC kind of asks some unexpected world history questions. Like in 2017 GS1 paper, UPSC asked the independence movement in Malaya Peninsula, which actually 99% people did not know what is it. In those unexpected questions, I would suggest that you think about that what happened in colonialism, not in Malaya but in the entire world, especially in the Eastern world, including India. 90% of the case is that if some colonialism is happening, it is done by some European nation, and the consequences are same. It led to the impoverishment of the downtrodden, the drain of the economy, and the rise of the capitalism. Communism is also coming. So these are the generic points that you can write on any type of world history question. So sometimes these unexpected questions, they can be tackled in this way. Second part that I will be talking about is the Indian culture question, which is quite vast as world history, and quite unpredictable as well, because you never know what can be asked in Indian culture and arts. It's very vast. No, I think despite being its unpredictability, there is a little predictability that you can predict what question will be asked. I'll give you 2 different examples. In 2018 GS1 paper, there was a question on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That question was asked because Prime Minister Modi, he went to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace, so it was in current affairs. This year also there was a question on Bhakti movement, the only question on art and culture, first question in GS1. That question came because Prime Minister Modi, he unveiled a statue of Ramanujan and Adi Shankaracharya at 2 different places. So if you make notes of art and culture throughout the year from the the newspaper, especially the Hindu, you will definitely get at least 5 to 10 topics to prepare on art and culture. And I have analyzed the patterns in the last 25 to 30 years. There is a 70 to 80% probability that the question will be from the current affair in art and culture as well. So if a new site is coming into UNESCO, like Navampai recently came, it also came in history optional, and as well as it also was a part of the prelim. So this is how I would say that you should tackle the unpredictable nature of art and culture. Now coming to how to structure an art and culture question. So they will definitely ask you a particular thing in art and culture. They will ask you either a structure of a Chaitanya stupa, or they will ask you entire Bhakti movement, or they might ask you some religion, Jainism, Buddhism, or something else. So I would say that start with how it originated. I am telling again and again that history is all about change and continuity, how it happened and what was the consequences of what happened. So start with how it happened. Buddhism, how it happened. Architecture, how it happened. Who made it happen? Bhakti movement, how it happened. What were the reasons? No matter if it is written in the question or not. Introduction must include what is the reason for that to happen. In the main body of a Bhakti general Indian culture question, you should mention some contemporary examples. So there will be, you will find many contemporary examples in your current affair notes. So you should mention one or two of those examples. It will add spices and though it will give you some edge over other answers. So I got 110 in GS paper this year, and it was all because of my history and art and culture portion. So what I used to do in art and culture is that after writing the introduction, I will write the examples and I will elaborate on that example, that how it is related to the question. So in the Bhakti movement is written, I would have written Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then elaborated it little bit. And in the conclusion part, you should definitely write the consequences of that thing. So if it is an architecture question, you should write how it influenced the other arts. Art is never segregated. If there is a dance, it will definitely influence the music, it will definitely influence the architecture. So you should not, narrow your mindset. You should broaden it. You should not think in one sense. No, it is architecture, so write about it. No, this should not be done in art and culture portion. So I think I'll take a leave here, and this is what I want to say. All the best. Thank you.